Hey there, it is Thursday, so you are tuning in to our Sip and Speak Happy Hour. I am your host every Thursday, Veronica Richardson, founder of Renewed Mind, where we help you start over and move forward with you as a priority. So tonight, I'm going to give you a few seconds to jump on with me, and I'm going to share over to our group so we can make sure everybody is on with us, and then we are going to get started. Let's see. Let me share this over to the group to make sure that we are all together and on the same page for this Sip and Speak Happy Hour because it is Thursday. So you are here with me and we are going to get started as soon as I make sure that everybody is in the right place with us. Let me share it over to the group. Share it to the group. If you're not in our group, the group is the New You Institute. So you can go to facebook.com /groups/ the New You Institute, and you can join us over there. But you're here tonight on a Renewed Minds page. They're also going to be with us as soon as I share. So let me get them in here with us. You know, I wish that Facebook had a different setup for this. All right. So we are successfully shared over to the New You Institute. So our people that are in our private Facebook group will be able to join us. So again, I am your host, Veronica Richardson, founder of A Renewed Mind, where we help you see yourself as a priority so you can start over and move forward. And tonight I wanted to talk to you. I changed topics really quickly, and I wanted to talk to you tonight about how fear has kept me from moving forward and how that relates to you being able to start over and move forward. So, hey, Maria. Hey, Richard. So for me, one of the things that's been a constant issue is making sure that I have a plan and a plan and a plan and a plan. And so much planning means that there's no execution. And so you know that I created the 6-step action plan for you guys, which is what I use myself in starting over. But the moving forward part has been where the pin has been dropped, and we haven't actually been doing a lot of the moving forward that we said we were going to do. So I talked to you on a previous Sip and Speak about wanting to move out of state, wanting to leave my full-time position. I got a story to tell you guys about this full-time position. But leaving the full-time position, leaving the part-time position, and being a solo entrepreneur with a renewed mind and with coaching and speaking. So the fear has always been that it's not going to work out the way that I planned, that the entrepreneurship is not going to work out, that the relationship status is not going to work out, that just everything that you put your hands on is not going to work out, right? And so with that being an issue or being a fear, I'm constantly planning out the next step, but never taking the next step. And so with that, fear has kept me paralyzed in living in the same place, not living in the same place, but living in the same state, not leaving jobs that I said I was going to leave years ago, years and years ago, places that I said I was going to leave, not having left them because, we know that we make whatever we make at our job. And so the idea of leaving there and not knowing what's on the other side and staying in your comfort zone keeps you from being able to move forward. So I was having a conversation with a friend, and I've had this conversation before with a couple of people about how the premise of a renewed mind is for you to, be renewed and have a different outlook on life and have a different mindset and want to really go boldly after what it is that you want and creating that life for yourself. But in doing that, I kind of got to a plateau and stopped. So I told you I was going to tell you a story about how this whole job situation is working out. So I went to meet with my supervisor today and was offered more money to stay in a position, to actually move to this position full-time, from part-time to full-time. But it came with the caveat of, if you get this additional money, if you get this raise, then that means that you're going to be taking on not only the duties that you currently have, but we're going to have what we call administrative duties. Right? So what the hell does administrative duties mean? What that really means to me is that whatever y'all don't want to do, I'm going to do, because if I'm giving you this additional money, if I'm giving you this raise, and I kind of feel like I got you locked into doing whatever it is that I asked you to do, right? So the moment that came out of her mouth, the whole light bulb, the whole grid lit up to the fact that we are completely being tested on how far we really are going to go and if we're really going to do what we say we're going to do. So on a previous Sip and Speak, I told you I was going to let you know when I was going to be leaving this job, and I didn't let you know. So today, in moving outside of fear and moving away from being held hostage with the fear of the what ifs and is it going to work, I'm going to announce to you tonight that my birthday is March 19th. And I plan to leave March 19th. So it's going to be a birthday gift to myself. And the reason why I'm saying this to you live is so that you can hold me accountable for doing what it is that I say that I'm going to do, the same way that I will hold you as a client accountable for doing what you say you want to do. So everything that we do is all in action based. And I noticed that fear was keeping me from actually taking the steps that I said I was going to take. But it felt great to always have a plan. But there's still that stagnation and you haven't done any of it. You've done some of it. I wouldn't say any of it, but you haven't done the things that move you to the next level. You've done enough that has gotten you here, but you haven't done the things that move you into the next level. And that's constantly what we all do, is that we make a plan because it sounds good to plan. It sounds great for us to plan that the new year is coming, or the holiday season is coming, or my birthday is coming, or the spring is coming, or whatever is coming. And so we make a plan, but then life gets in the way and, we make other decisions, or we make no decision, which is actually making a decision. And so there are other areas in my life where I haven't really made a decision, which is making a decision. So I'm telling you that the first step for me in moving past that fear is to tell you that I'm going to be leaving March 19th. This is what's going to be 2017. So if March 20th comes, I need you to jump back on here and say, hey, did you leave your job? And if I did not leave my job, then we need to have a whole nother conversation, because that means then I can't really coach you if I'm not living in that same mindset that I'm asking you to live in. So when we talked about going boldly after what it is that you want, and discussing how fear really can keep you held bound to the thing that you really say you don't want, I want to be very clear in the fact that I'm very aware of the limits that I've placed on myself. But like I said to my supervisor, I'm comfortably uncomfortable in this situation. So if that doesn't make sense, I'll explain it. I'm comfortable in the fact that I know I'm getting a paycheck. I'm comfortable in the fact that I know what my relationship status is. I know what I'm getting with the people that are involved in my life, the people who choose not to be involved in my life. I know exactly what that is. But the discomfort comes from not wanting to move away from that, because we're fearful of what might be on the other side of, are you going to go broke if you don't have a job? If you get in a relationship, is this person going to do you wrong like another person did you wrong? If you decide to start a business, is it going to, blow up, or is it going to fail? Like, what is really going to happen? And so all of the questioning, I'm a true Pisces in the overthinking things. And so if you're like me, you always want to make sure that you have, a strategic plan, but you also want to make sure that you have some control. And so my issue is in needing to have that control. So if you're a type of person who needs to have control of the situation and can't really move beyond that because you're fearful of what's going to happen, then my advice to you today is to pick one thing that will really show up as a difference for you. So this leaving a job would really show up as a difference, because it would make me test my faith in leaning on what I say I want to do, as opposed to kind of dibbling and dabbling and not really going 100% into it. So pick one thing that would test your faith and then go forward with that. So that one thing may be that you get back on the dating scene, or that one thing may be you decide that you want to be an entrepreneur and you leave your job. That one thing, I don't know, one thing could be anything, but whatever it is, you may decide that you want to travel the world. So that one thing may be that you start an account to save money to travel the world. Or it may be that you reach out to a travel agent to see whatever's possible. But just testing yourself with one thing. Not doing everything. I know, people say you should have done X, Y, and Z, and A, and B, and C by now. That may all be true. But we have to go with what feels good to us and what we feel comfortable with. So me knowing me, I know that this is going to be the first step that's going to make me really feel like I'm taking that leap, or I'm stepping out on faith and seeing what happens. So that will lead to the snowball effect of other things in your life that you start to feel comfortable with releasing and seeing what happens. And I'll guarantee you that when I leave this job in March, I'm going to feel a sigh of relief, but at the same time, there's going to be some discomfort. And what are we going to do? But that's where having that action plan that we talked about in a previous Sip and Speak, the achievement focus, deciding what it is that you want, C, changing direction, which would be leaving, T, taking responsibility, which I'm doing with you right now, and owning up to the fact that I've been letting fear keep me hostage, invoking higher standards, overcoming the limitations, and then also in navigating the life that you want. So in those 6 action steps, I'm now at the point of taking responsibility. So I know what I want, I'm changing the directions, and now I'm taking responsibility with you guys and telling you that fear has kept me hostage, and now this is the plan to move forward. So if you create your own action plan and determine what you want and what steps you need to take to get there, and also if you just do that one thing that will show you that you really are testing yourself and testing your faith, you'll definitely start to feel better and feel more comfortable about walking in that fear. And so if you feel that you need further support, we have a webinar that's going to be coming up that you can join us on, and it is going to be the 3-step process that's going to help you see you as a priority. And one of the things that has kept me hostage is that I don't always see myself as the priority, because if you're a parent, if you're an employee, if you're the relative that people come to, if you try to be a good friend, and then you're also, working in your own business, whatever it is that you're doing, all of those things come before you. And so when you don't see yourself as a priority, you kind of get lost in the shuffle, and you don't always consider what you want above considering what other people need from you or how they need you to show up. And so in doing that myself, I know that there's certain things that I want to do, but I also know that I have a responsibility to my own child. I have a responsibility to family members. I have a responsibility to the boards that I belong to. I have a responsibility to so many commas. All the commas. But we have to start removing some of those commas and putting periods where they should be. And then we also have to understand that sometimes we do all of that because we're still running in fear. And so it's easier for me to stay in this situation and use the excuse that I'm responsible for so many people and so many things, and I'm on so many boards and I got to do X, Y, and Z, than for me to face the fact that I really need to start implementing. So tonight I wanted to come on with you, and I wanted to be honest with you about where fear has kept me. And if you want to check out the blog post that I wrote about it, you can go over to A Renewed Mind Today, click on blog, and you'll see the whole blog post that I wrote yesterday in regards to how fear has kept me hostage and what I plan on doing to remove myself from that situation. Because once you know better, you do better. So now you know better, I know better, and I'm telling you so that I can act accordingly and be held accountable. So March 20th, we're going to come back here. You're going to ask me the question, did you leave your job? The answer should be yes, because I have figured out a plan to make that happen. So I hope that tonight has given you some inspiration and also has helped you to see me as a real person who actually goes through some of the same things that I coach you through. So as I said before, A Renewed Mind was born from the need to really change the life and the direction that I was in and the direction that I was going. And so I hope that that's going to be something that you also can do. And fear is one of those things that keep us from moving forward just because we know what we know here and we're afraid of what's going to be on the other side. But there's nothing that's going to happen for us in our comfort zone if we let fear stay in control. So I hope to see you on the webinar. You can go over to our A Renewed Mind page and you can click on the link and register yourself for the webinar that's coming up. And it's going to teach you how to prepare for 2017 and have your own action plan ready so that you can go boldly into next year, knowing where you're going, what you're going to do, and how you're going to get there. So until next time, I'm Veronica Richardson. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you let me be honest and vulnerable with you. And meet me back here, you guys, in March so we can make sure that I really did quit that job, okay? So thanks. Have a great night. I'm glad you're here for Sip and Speak. I hope it's useful to you. Make sure you pick your one thing that you're going to do that's going to show that you're walking in faith and not in fear. Have a great night.